educate ourselves, or wait for us to get our affairs in order. He will expect us to be ready, that he is quite strong. 4. Different ways of waiting for the Lord. And there are different ways Christians can wait for the Lord's return. Some people are completely unmoved by this coming event because they only have cold theological knowledge, a more superficial attitude which does not make them grow in faith. Others, however, wait expectantly for the return of our Saviors, and desire it with a sacred zeal because they live for His glory and want to give Him praise and worship, grateful for all He has done for them. Others are like me, they are confused by this, and possibly find themselves somewhere between these two extremes, but just in case, we do everything. We do our best to prepare anyway, keeping the light of our devotion to Jesus trimmed and burning. 2. Receive a blessing when you return. This brings us to our second point in verses 37 and 38, where upon His return from Him, we are blessed by Jesus. Verse 37 says, "Blessed are the slaves whom the master will find alert when he comes. Truly, I tell you that he will gird himself to serve, and that he will recline at the table, and he will come to wait for you." This verse illustrates the great reward that God has for those whom He finds ready, upon His return. Jesus has always placed great importance on those who serve Him, and here He is saying just that He will honor faithfulness by serving those who served Him. This text always encourages me because Jesus does not say, "Blessed are the servants, who, when the Lord comes, will find work, testimony, prayer, preaching, or study and any other sacred work." No, Jesus says, "Blessed are those whom the Lord finds alert or waiting for His return, or simply, blessed are those who wait to meet Him." In this assembly this morning I can see many who are doing exactly that, but think, on the contrary, when we go home and go about our business, we will see many people who do not think of them. Can you imagine any of them saying, "I really want to meet the resurrected Christ"? I am sure that many of them would perish the thought, particularly our young people today. However, today here we are waiting. We are worlds apart, but that is exactly what Jesus wants. And for us it's a little easy, because we know that if we don't have Jesus to wait for, what exactly do we have and what would life be about? And we ask this question regularly, because we all have problems of one kind or another. That's the nature of life. Maybe it's financial, maybe you're in conflict with someone or something. Maybe we are in physical pain or have restricted mobility in some way. We may even be in the middle of a terrible experience or simply lost, and when we suffer these trials, we see very clearly the emptiness of this world that I have mentioned before. I'm not being negative here. Quite the opposite, I'm trying to show the contrast of those who live for this world, and those who don't, and those who don't have a thing called hope, and a faith that they will survive. They are positive in the fact that they look forward to their death and life in heaven in the kingdom, in an exciting and positive way, to be prepared, or as prepared as we can, to meet their Creator, just as Jesus is in command. Right here, this is a pretty good verse, and to finish, Jesus in verse 38 proclaims that the caring servant will be blessed, whether he comes in the second watch, or even in the third, and finds them like this: "Blessed are those slaves." And 2 Timothy 4:8 agrees. "From now on there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day, and not to me only, but to all who love His appearing." The crown mentioned here is given to those who say, "Lord, I realize that this world is not where it is, that there must be more. Therefore, I am seeking your coming and your kingdom." 831. Hopefully it is now quite obvious that Jesus blesses those who seek His coming, because these people realize that life is not about them, but about Him, that He is much higher and better than them, and realize that this may be a rare day with people who trust themselves or